When someone is seriously ill, like the women in our Thursday Girls group, it has a profound effect on close family members and friends. We're very aware of this and really wanted to try and meet the needs of, well, particularly family, in trying to help support them.
We've built up some strong and lasting friendships for sure.
It was very immediate that we had a common understanding of each other, even though we were only meeting each other for the first time. We were all experiencing things that mostly had until that point been experiencing on our own.
Yeah.
And then to come together to people there's not a sense that you have to explain yourself.
At times, I think for the group, it gets very emotional in regards to our history with the disease, and the ability for guys to get together and actually have emotive sorts of responses to what cancer has done to us as partners has been invaluable as well. Like the idea of being a male means to be fairly keep your strength up, and stuff like that, but and not show your emotions. But I guess for this group, times it's been like that, and you can actually express those emotional sorts of feelings, which has been good.
Yeah. Cancer is such a roller coaster ride. You can have the closest of friends, but they just don't understand those transitions. Being in a group like this means you can bounce those things around and share your thoughts and responses.
To be able to share that load makes a vast amount of difference, I think. Since we started with the group, I felt that I've really grown in that respect, to be able to, have that shared bond of empathy and sadness sometimes as well.
Yes.
You can't be ruled by metastatic cancer. If you allow it to be the whole point of your life, then it's not a life at all. So when you are relatively well in regards to having the illness, then you must live a life that's fruitful.
And you have to have the life experiences that you would expect as a normal person, and you might have to compromise those to some extent, but you try and normalise your life as much as you can.
You find your joy in each other, you find it in your family and friends, and you make the most of whatever is in front of you.
You were saying about the facilitators, it's they just do a phenomenal job. So much experience and know-how there. And they really deserve some sort of acknowledgement for the great job that they're doing.
Yeah. In 2019, we got together prospective men who were willing to join the group, and it was 6 months after it started that Paul, his wife Karen, died reasonably suddenly, and Paul continued with the group. And since then, we've had another additional member who's lost his wife, and the group seems to function really well, having both those who've got wives that are very unwell, some that are reasonably well, and those who've lost their wives.
I joined the partners group of Thursday Girls at its inception, which was actually about 6 months before Karen died, which was roughly in April or May 2019.
And I'm Russell. My wife passed away 4 weeks ago, so it's still very fresh in my memory. I was reluctant to join the group at first because I was thinking it was a group of men getting together to talk football and take their minds off their wives' problems. It took me a while to be convinced that that's not what it was, and I am now very, very pleased I did join. From friends and relatives, you get vocalised support, but the support with the guys is just sort of more the presence of someone there who understands, rather than sitting there telling you, oh, you know, we can do this and do that, and trying to fix the problem, or trying to convince you to go to dinner 7 nights a week with them so that you're not on your own, etc., etc. To me, that's one of the things about the guys, that they're not in your face, they're just there as quiet support. We get to discuss our personal issues, needs, wants, desires, problems a bit. So it's not just that we're talking about our wives, because we don't do all that much talking about the wives. Just open up to the guys, because they've been there and seen there, and they're doing it.
You know, I think it took several months for us to form that bond, and then when Russell's joined us sort of more recently in the last couple of months, because we had a sort of way of sort of working as a group, you know, in combination with Sue and Marg.
What you're both saying is you really get a lot out of it, but you also giving a lot. Everybody gives in their own way. You're sort of modelling how, you know, this can happen, well, will happen sooner or later, and how you manage that huge shift in your identities, your lifestyles, everything.
You know, I think when we first started the group, we didn't really envisage that people, once they became bereaved, would perhaps continue to be
we
a
just
member.
Never thought about it.
No, that's right. And so, you know, when I look back, that the experience before Karen died was one I can say this now, and I didn't realise it at the time, but it was this concept of anticipatory grief.
Yep.
And that's what was happening, and that's what we were exploring. And for me personally, though, because of the connections made, it was very natural for me to continue to be a member of the group, and that there was space there for that, being in that position. But I found that the support that I received from the group, and as well as what I was able to give back to the group after Karen died, became a really important part of my identity now. People want to be there because they're receiving a sense of support from each other in being there.
We also wanted to have something for adult children, parents, close family members of the group. I think we were thinking of something with perhaps a social and an educative focus. That's something for the future.